Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankee bats keep struggling mightily. I mean, this is like minor league baseball now with the Yankees, and really got to send a big thank you bouquet to the Baltimore Orioles to at least keep the Yankees relevant, as Tampa, also struggling a little bit with the Orioles, the same Orioles the Yankees going to have to face after they leave Toronto there. But not good news for the Yankees. Again, getting outstanding pitching, but nothing to show for it because offense is literally putting up zeros on the board. Not much to be happy about, but we'll go dive into it anyway. And a little bright spot has to be at least Trent Grisham starting to come alive a little bit after he was starting to become the punching bag from fans with making a lot of outs. And, of course, misplaying a couple balls out in the outfield there. So about the only bright spot for the Yankees, at least offensively, has been Trent Grisham. So before you get started, though, you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcast. There's also a YouTube version of the show. Go to YouTube, search for Section 420 Talkin Yankees, and subscribe there as well. So the Yankees, even though they hadn't been putting together long winning streaks like the Boston Red Sox, they had at least for the most part been winning series and just kind of, keeping the ball rolling a little bit, win 2, lose 2, win 3, win 2 out of 3 here, 2 out of 3 there. So, okay, great. You're not going some hot streak. You're not really on the heels of Tampa there, but still at least staying relevant, staying within earshot. And that's why I always feel like, all right, if the Yankees can kind of just keep within 4 or 5 games of Tampa, you got a good opportunity in September, especially with 4 games at Yankee Stadium against those same Tampa Rays. Now, no way to expect the Yankees to take all 4 games or even 3 or 4 games. But again, at least you want to stay within earshot just so you give yourself some sort of chance when that 4-game series comes about. But the way this is looking right now with this Yankee offense, the Yankees might have to now just really plan things out as one of the wild card teams instead there. And the way you do that, just maybe you want to rush someone back quicker than maybe you thought if you feel like you still got a shot at the American League East. Because right now you're hearing that maybe Bellinger and Stanton might be ready around September 1st. But that's still like 15 more days. I mean, I just don't know how many more games the Yankees could fall behind. So even if Stanton and Bellinger do show up September 1st, let's just say that happens, well, at that point it might be too late. I mean, the Yankees could very easily be 11 or 12 games out at that point. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not, though. But still, the Yankees got to find some way to get this offense going. And, you made some moves around the trade deadline. You bring in Garcia, bring in Ramos. So you demoted Volpe and Dominguez. You promoted Lombard, and again, mostly he's been showing some good stuff there, but it's kind of the same old story. This team just cannot score, and you're wasting really good pitching by Cole, Schlittler, Max Fried. I mean, the Yankees really should be almost on like a 5-6 game winning streak right now. Obviously, they took the first 2 games against Seattle. Then you lose a 1-0 affair. Can you get a run on the board? Waste of good pitching performance by Fried. Then you got the opening game against Toronto. You get on the board early with Trent Grisham home run, but you waste a good effort by Cole, and the Yankees lose 3-1. And then, of course, you got the game right after the Saturday game. Yankees get on the board early first. Same old story, winning 1-0, but then lose 4-1. Again, averaging about one. Really fun. Take almost less than a run per game, over the stretch of games I just mentioned there. So, just really putrid. And you're looking right up and down the lineups, the usual suspects. But really, I guess right now, Trent Grisham got the heat off him a little bit. Again, that's about the only bright spot of this Yankee offense lately. Hitting .393, slugging at .964 with 11 hits, 4 home runs, and 8 RBIs. That's about the only little bright spot. And of course, had that 2 home run game performance. That's where he really broke out of this thing. In that opening game against Seattle, the Yankees putting 10 runs on the board. You think, all right, maybe this is finally something. This team's gonna get rolling a little bit. But then hitting a wall, been pulling teeth to get runs on the board. And by doing that, though, Trent Grisham at least got the heat off him a little bit. Again, fans are starting to get on him a little bit. Saw that play out in the Cardinals series. They misplayed a ball to center field. Again, everything with Trent Grisham, we know the deal with him. Average hitter there, but at least very top-notch defense. Again, he's a former 2-time Gold Glove winner, but barely misplayed a couple of balls. And that one ball in the Cardinals series there that should have been caught on the warning track, fell right in there. And along that, with his miserable bad streak he was on, the slump he was on ever since he came back from his hamstring injury, fans were starting to get on him a little bit, and people tired of seeing him in the leadoff spot there. Guys becoming an automatic out. But at least with this little breakout he's had, now it's really put the focus on Jazz being the main villain there. And again, he's just been absolutely horrible. Averaged down to 214. So Jazz is not going to be the same thing as Grisham. He's never going to be a 275, 280 hitter. But again, Jazz at this point has been an automatic out, and not even an automatic out, just swinging and missing, and nothing productive, nothing about him. Even if he maybe just like lay down a bunt and run there, just try anything there. But he's just been an automatic strikeout. And again, you're really wasting good pitching, and what's going to happen. Okay, let's say at a point these guys do come back, Bellinger, Judge, and Stan. They're going to come back, and then watch the pitching fall apart at that point. So you just got to hope. I think the veterans, they understand, though, but it's got to be killing Cole. It's got to be killing Schlitt and Fried. Throwing up zeros on the board there and getting really nothing to show for it. And then also dealing with Judge as well. Get a report that, I guess, yes, well, he finally playing catch there for the first time since the injury there. So he's playing catch. So he could jog a little bit in the field and play catch. But, if they're saying September 1st for Stanton and Bellinger, that seems like Judge is still far away. I mean, you're looking at, at this point, almost maybe you would hope for the second week of September. We just don't know where the team's going to be in the standings at that point, and they might just have to concede being a wild card team. Maybe they don't rush Judge back as quickly, or maybe they give Stanton a little bit more time than they really want to. Just to figure, what? The American League East is not going to be possible there, because I just don't know how the Yankees are going to get out of August right now. And stay within earshot of the American League East. Just the way things are going right now. Now, can Tampa maybe stub their toe a little bit? Yeah, Tampa got off to a really good start of the season, and they scuffled a little bit too. And the Yankees aren't the only team. Boston had a 5-game losing streak. The Dodgers at one point had a 7-game losing streak. So, yes, other teams and Tampa could stubble their toe a little bit. Maybe the Yankees could kind of get back into the race there. But I just really can't see how can this offense at least keep this team within relevancy. And then if you add Judge and Stanton and Bellinger, okay, but when those three big pieces come back, where's this team going to be? They got to find some ways to score runs without this. And I don't know what else you can do. There's no other Lombards you could pull out from the minors. I mean, these are the guys. So they got to find a way to get it done. You're not asking them to do too much. The Yankees are getting absolutely great pitching. You're not asking them to put up 6 runs. Can you put up 3 or 4 maybe? They can't even do that. They're putting up 1 run per game, at least, at the stretch of games I'm just talking about right now there. So not good news for the Yankees. Again, the only holding out of hope is that they're getting stellar pitching. That, again, if you get this type of starting pitching in the playoffs, the Yankees can be a threat, but they kind of have to get there, and he's got to hope. I don't think Cole's going to, throw a tantrum or just give up on the season there. I mean, he's always going to try to throw zeros up there, but you got to figure it's really eating at these starting pitches out there. They're giving this type of forms. They got nothing to show for it, but you just got to hope they just keep doing what they're doing, so when the offense, at least gets formidable at some point, when some pieces come back, then you could kind of take that as, you ride that into the playoffs. So that's the only hope for the Yankees. Now, if the Yankees were getting this, no offense and garbage pitching and blowing games, stuff like that, then I would say, all right, you know what? This team is done, is cooked. I'm not saying that. The bullpen's still good overall. Bednar has been fabulous. Again, he's been better than I thought he would be. The Yankees didn't really get another closer in there, so he's gonna be the guy. So that's it. And again, so far he's been spectacular up to this point there, so can't complain. You get into good starting pitching, so that's the only thing you can hold your hat on. And is finally, when you get these pieces back, hopefully get to score enough runs to again be a dangerous team in the playoffs. So it's the only thing to hold your hat on at this point with the Yankees. So that's the episode. Not much good to go on. Play a few games down in Camden Yards, and back in the old days, those used to be easy wins for the Yankees. But they're going to struggle to score runs there. I mean, it is an offensive-friendly ballpark, but this team has not been hitting well. But you just got to hope maybe they get down to Camden, they could break out. Usually a lot of Yankee fans go down there, they make the trip. It's summertime, the kids are off from school, so maybe it's in Baltimore they turn around. Who knows? We'll catch you next time.